VladTV.com understand that rent is too damn high. I represent the rent is too damn high party. People working 8 hours a day and 40 hours a week to some a third job. Women can't afford to take care of their children, feed their children breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My main job is to provide a roof over your head, food on the table, and money in your pocket. This is politics as usual. Playing a silly game. It's not going to happen. The rent too damn high movement, the people I'm here to represent can't afford to pay their rent.
Now, Jimmy, like, to be on that stage with all the other politicians who are running for governor right now, you can't just wake up one morning and say, okay, I'm going to be governor. It's a whole process you have to go through. So why don't you tell us about what the process is to actually be a nominee for New York governor?
You have to petition signatures. You have to get of the 15 of the 29 congressional districts. You have to get 100 signatures from each congressional district, at least 15 of them. But I had a plan. I know during the summer, New York have events and festivals. And I knew where those festivals were, and I knew people was coming from different parts of the state to those festivals. So I went out with my petition on those days, and I caught them. But I could always tell a person who's walking around not a New Yorker, what part of New York you from? Oops, sign my petition, I'm running for governor, rent too damn high party. And they would sign, how could they resist? Look at this, man, how could they resist? And believe it or not, most people sign my petition without sounding like I'm flattered. It was women. Women sign my petition because I laid the charm out. And you have to know the guys didn't want to sign. And when the guys didn't want to sign, I said, I'm not going to turn you in. I know you're deadbeat dad, man, sign the damn petition. And then they'll think about it, come back and they'll sign the doggone thing. I use humor to get on the ballot. Don't have nothing. We spent $33.70-something cents in 1960 to get on the ballot. What am I doing sitting up with those rich boys, man? I'm a hood rat and a thug from Brooklyn. I have no business there. When I seen them fools sitting on stage, the only thing I seen, I looked at them, this is what's wrong with the country. They're not here to talk about the people concerned. They're here to talk about what same old politics as usual, what got the country in the condition it's in. Our children need better than that. Our children need a dad that's going to stand up for them and get up on that doggone form and say, hold on a minute. Enough is enough. That's why I paused for a minute. I took a deep breath. I seen Barack Obama fighting. I know what they're trying to do to him. He got a plan for America. He has a plan for America. Nobody caught on to it. And when I stood up there and I heard all of them speak, and as soon as it got to my turn, I seen Barack standing behind me and say, hit him. And I said, allow me to introduce myself. The rent too damn high party is exactly a reflection of President Barack Obama's agenda. The Democratic Party don't know how to do it, but through the rent too damn high party, I am a Democrat who came through the back door because the Democratic Party slammed that door in my face. I'm 6'2" and weigh 240 pounds. I refuse to be ignored. I refuse to be denied. I'm a Vietnam veteran. They have children here. Children can't afford breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're homeless. They can't provide a roof over their head, food on the table, and money in their pocket. I am going to make sure that happens to all these folks in New York that have been involved in around real estate fraud, mortgage fraud, real estate Ponzi, and all of these things that they have been around. The president has laid out a $787 billion stimulus and an $800 billion bailout. Every taxpayer in the state of New York has contributed $6,000 toward that bailout and the stimulus. And now that we are 61% owners of General Motors, where's my money? General Motors just spent $1.35 billion on buying a credit union. And now they spent $10 billion on auto loans if you need it. Why am I losing my home to foreclosure then? Why haven't my student loan been waived? Why do I have a student loan? Who is working for me? Why this lady got to spend all this money for daycare? And she's put out all that money. Who's looking out for these folks? These folks can't afford breakfast. I got an old lady who can't afford breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She's taking a medication. The medication eating her organs away. She's dying. We're really committing murder. Nobody's paying attention to it. Where is the love? Where's the compassion? Where's the concern? Where are the elected officials? They have disappeared off the planet. When the market crashed in 2001 or 2008, they were watching CNN. When the World Trade Center hit in 2001, what was the backup plan? How can you run a state without a backup plan? Everyone have a backup plan. You always tell your child, okay, if there's a fire, you go this way. If there's a fire, so you practice an escape route. This is what I learned to do from a Vietnam vet. There is an escape route. First thing I did when I came into this building, coming in here, if something happened, I'm out of here. I know where to go. Somebody gonna get knocked down with me trying to get out of here. You have to plan an escape route. So if you become an elected official, what about the people? What have you planned? There are no jobs. Jimmy McMillan got jobs. We're going to create 3 to 6 million jobs, and we're going to generate a $3 to $6 trillion surplus. They have mountains all upstate. In 1994, I walked from Brooklyn to Buffalo. The poor feet I got scrap metal in my feet in the Vietnam War.
You actually walked from Brooklyn to Buffalo
and back.
With just by yourself?
By myself, for the same thing I'm fighting for right now today.
How many miles is that?
I don't even know, because I slept in the homeless shelters along the way. Okay. And I ate off of the terrain. I ate the roots from the grass. I know what to eat. I will not start. There's a lot of food. If you and I get stranded in the jungles, you won't go hungry. You might not eat it, but I bet you I won't. And I'm not going to go thirsty because I learned how to drink my own urine. So I'm not going to do without food. I am a Vietnam veteran who was forced to live in the jungles by the United States government because they abandoned us and left us for dead in the mountains of Vietnam. But back to New York. You have all those hills and mountains in the state of New York. Cable companies, we can build our own. Oil reserves, we can have our own. Verizon, New York State telephone company, we can have our own. We can create our own cell phone company. Why hasn't someone been thought of this? Wind, solar, air, gas companies. We can have all of this in the mountains of the state of New York. Just like they build casinos and they make transportation for you, we can do the same thing. Bulldoze the land, become an independent state. I like to see people be independent so you don't have to rely on anyone to do anything. I used to be a musician. I used to be with Brunswick Records. They had the Shy Light. We went to Chicago and did an album. We did 2 albums for me. I waited for my song to come out, but the Shy Lights kept Have You Seen? Or every time Have You Seen it played, I knew my record was going to be sitting on the back burner for another year. But become independent. When I couldn't get a record out with Brunswick Records, I put a record out on a radio called A Woman Is Hard to Understand. And someone emailed me that record. Someone has got it out now in London. And I haven't listened to it yet, but that's my song. But the question, becoming independent. What I mean, I had the rehearsal. They charged us $15 a day to rehearsal. I play guitar like crazy. I play keyboard, every instrument I play. Where is this for these young children today? There is no rehearsal space. They taking all that away. Now that they have made it, they pull up a ladder and say, okay, if you make it good, if you don't. But they're rapping. They're talking about the rappers. Get off their back. I understand what is going on. We need to focus on our children having a life and being independent and not trying to take them back to the early 60s and 50s and 40s like everyone is doing. I am sick of it. I'm not doing it. Take me from 2010 and beyond. And that is why I have this, we call it attitude that I have, because I'm speaking for all the people who have had enough.